Feeling bad can feel good. So good that you can't stop buying from the store that keeps you low, unmotivated, and self-loathing. You feel bad for yourself because it's the only thing that feels good, and it hurts. You know you can do better. You know what you should be doing, but knowing that is not enough to motivate you. You lay in bed all day, binge Netflix, and watch someone sing 5 songs at once or put on 100 shirts. Anything that'll distract you from the hurt. Anything that'll distract you from how bad you feel about yourself and your inability to do anything productive. More people feel like this than you might think. It was the summer of 2019. I had just found my way into Vector via a letter in the mail. I sold kitchenware. I had my own hurdles to climb over upon starting the job, but my first 10 days of selling, called my fast start, went amazing. I sold $1,200 in my first week and $1,800 in my second. And I got a commission off of all of this, so, as my managers used to say, that doesn't suck. I still marvel at how I accomplished something which is to me so great. Unfortunately, however, it didn't last. Soon after this period of success, I was over at a friend's place, and I wasn't thinking. We were out by the pool, and I ran up to go meet with them at the other side, and I slammed my foot on a fence. Yeah, I don't usually get hurt physically. I don't like to fight or anything like that, so it's not common for me to get injured. It was crazy. Imagine one day you're perfectly able and thriving, and then the next you're at a patient first, and a doctor is telling you that you need crutches. I was crushed. It doesn't help that I limped around all day hoping and praying that it wasn't as bad as it seemed, that I would wake up the next day and it would only be a little sore. That day, something was taken from me. Not only couldn't I walk unassisted, but I couldn't even do the one thing I do to cope with distress: dance. It was indescribable. Nothing good in the world mattered anymore. I came home that night and hopped up the porch steps with my parents and brother close behind. I sat at the dinner table and didn't say a word. My parents talked about how I would need to operate now and all the help that they could offer. My dad even said he would get me a bell for when I needed something. They didn't want me on my feet, but it hurt to even think about that. This is real? I really can't walk? I thought to myself. In the weeks following, everyone could see it in me. My performance plummeted. I went weeks without selling a single knife or cutting board, and I hated myself for it. I was wasting the time I had to work for the summer. Why couldn't I do what I did back then? What was different? Constantly bombarding myself with contempt, I said things to myself then that I wouldn't wish on the worst person in the world. For what? Just because I couldn't sell a few knives? I had no mercy. This experience was something else. Every day I waited and hoped and prayed that things would get better, that I would get back on my feet and start selling again, that I'd get my fire back. Slowly, I started making phone calls from my room, whereas I used to go back in my work office or in the basement, long before my foot was healed. My parents were nice enough to drive me to my presentations, and after I got used to the crutches, I would go and do the dang thing. I can't really say I did anything to spark this change, though. I simply had faith that things would get better, and they did. I can't help but look back. Why did I treat myself so poorly? I was the same person before and after this incident, so why? Will it happen again? If it's not my foot, then what's next? How can I prevent this from happening? How can I prevent my circumstances from making me hate myself?
What do you want your peers to know?
That we aren't special. No one is, positively or negatively. We all have something to bring to the table. You bet that whatever you're going through right now, billions of people have been there and been through it. You're not alone. You're not especially depressed or especially poor. You're not especially unworthy of success or happiness. In fact, we have a right to these things. We feel alone because this conversation is popularly dead. No one is talking about this.
What is mindset?
Mindset is a choice. It's choosing to set your mind on what matters. You get to choose how to view your circumstances. You get to decide what you believe. You get to decide if you have value. Are you worthy of your greatest desires? No. Yes. No. Yes. Maybe someday. No. Yes. I don't know. It's your choice. It's time to seize the power of our minds. It's time to use our minds as tools to support our growth and happiness, instead of falling victim to them as uncontrollable weapons used to rip us apart. We have the power. We do. Join me in opening this conversation and breaking the silence around mindset. You're not alone.